Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for Vinland Saga Season 2, Episode 10, and we are going to turn our attention to Canute. But before we let what just happened wash away in the river of the flow of time and episodes, let's take a moment to say that I think without question, without hesitation, that episode 9 of season 2 of Vinland Saga was one of the most emotionally resonant, impactful, and interesting pieces of media that I've seen. Full stop. I could also say in the last couple of years, because when I look back, I can sort of start to remember a couple of things that have been close. But fuck, it really stood on its own. We took all of the emotional, physical, and violent journey that Thorfinn has experienced over his life and condensed it, recolored it, and saw it again from a different light. We painted it no longer as real world, but as metaphor, as dream, as truer than true. And then we yanked our character into this vision of his truer than truth, the heart within his heart. Down in the depths is a place of war, a place that Thorfinn has been before, a place that all of those he's known have been, a place that his father tried to keep him from going to, a place that his second father sits up above, a father below and a father above, and Thorfinn rocketing down between them, and then realizing what he needs to know, what he needs to understand in order to climb. With all the weight of all of those that he's killed clinging on to him, still he must climb. So the man that emerges from the shadows and the depths is a new man carrying the same weight. Reborn, but not having shed his skin. Not born again. Yeah? Now he has to live on for his whole life. Carrying that weight. And so does each of us. It's unlikely that you're a hyper-violent child soldier. Most of us are lucky enough not to be, and that's very powerful. But all of us have darkness that we carry, mistakes that we've made, things that we've done to others that have hurt them. Whether we were conscious of it and acting as a bully, or unconscious of it and acting like everybody else, or forced into it by an authority figure, or any of an endless number of other reasons and ways, I think all of us find ourselves looking back on our past with some degree of regret. And so in story, we take that and we make it the most regret. The worst past. And we say, how do you live from there? How do you go from there? I want to draw something. I've been drawing for the last couple of videos, but I haven't been recording the drawings. It's because I'm kind of nervous about doing it, to be honest. I want to share it really badly, but I don't want to turn people off from the videos or push people away. And it's kind of a foolish pursuit, I think. I got a comment a few months ago that sort of lived rent-free in the back of my head where somebody said, why the fuck do you share these drawings? Stop doing this. This is dumb. This isn't why people are watching your videos. You're not a great artist. Cut it out. And while my response to that consciously has been one of yeah, fuck you. I'm going to do what I want. deeper on, it's festered in there, and it's made me feel bad creatively. I don't want to feel like that. I want to draw things, and I want to share that. It's really been extraordinarily important and valuable for my ability and, for my capacity to emotionally resonate with the shows and put them into words. Something about the nonverbal creation does it for me. It does it for me. It makes me capable of doing the rest. So I'm going to keep doing it. I've been using these sort of little sheets, and I've really been liking it. It's strange. I knew kind of exactly what I wanted to draw here. So I fucked up a little bit. I'm going to have to draw some extra stones in here, and that's fine. A pencil. Yeah. That is what I wanted to draw. I'm really glad that it came out kind of like I had it imagined in my mind. I wish that I understood better how to create separation between this bridge, which is a bridge that I've drawn, and the water surface that I have underneath it. In my mind's eye, this is the river, the mighty river, and this is the straight and narrow path forward to the unknown. If you fall over on either side, you fall into the river and you're swept away. That's the idea. I want to share something. Having shared the drawing and my thoughts about the previous episode, I want to share something that I stumbled upon in a book that I'm reading that I'm kind of struggling with in the context of Vinland Saga. I just want to share it with you, and maybe it will help you think this through as well. Maybe you'll be able to help me. John Bradshaw, in Healing the Shame That Binds You, which I've been reading through, which is about toxic shame and the way that it impacts one's life overall, writes, "What I couldn't grasp is that there is no way to change your being by doing. The shame-based core cries out, 'You're flawed and defective. There's something wrong with you.' All the doing in the world won't change that." What he's talking about is in the context of his own life, trying to act in ways that offset one's internal shame and finding it useless, finding that all the doing in the world can't change the being within. And I struggle with this a little bit because I've been coming to this idea that physical work, doing, changes the being within powerfully, has deeply therapeutic aspects. But perhaps I need to separate out the kinds of internal work that can be healed by physical activity, by work change in the practical world, and the kinds that need to be delved into and investigated as such. And I think, just as I've said it out loud now, I think maybe that makes perfect sense. Maybe it doesn't contradict what we've done in Vinland Saga at all. We've been working, doing physically in the real world, building, creating, growing things, right? Which to me has struck me as a direct opposite of killing, destroying, tearing down. Although we do some of that too with the trees, but it's a mishmash, right? We're building human things. Maybe we had to do enough of that to uncover the trauma, kind of, to dig it out so that we could change it by investigating it directly in that emotional space that we did in the last episode. Maybe Bradshaw is right in the context that he's speaking of, that doing can't change your being, And maybe we're right in the same way, but in a different context, that doing enables you to get to your being. Yeah? Maybe there's no contradiction. And that's all right. But I wanted to bring it up anyway, because I thought it was really interesting that in this show that has been so much about changing one's being, I'm finding these pieces of information and psychology around how to do that, and how hard it is, and how the unconscious things that are scarred into you may not be changeable in the sense that you want. But that doesn't mean that you can't live with them, that you can't live around them, that you can't find new ways to adapt and overcome. With all of that in mind, we are going to turn our attention to a very different character. A young man who's been put in a position of great power and has reached out and grasped it, has hardened and become, well, the kind of man who can be king. Our title for the episode tells us that such power comes with a great cost. And we're going to find out what that cost looks like here in Season 2, Episode 10, The Cursed Head. Thanks so much for joining me for this week's episode of Vinland Saga. I'm really glad to be here and watch it, and I'm really excited to have you along for the journey. So, if you would like early access to all of my videos, you can get that on the Patreon. It's linked in the description. There's a timer-based version that you're watching up on YouTube right now, and a picture-based version with the video up there, linked in the description down there. You can sync your own copy up with the timer-based version and listen for the beep beep timer, and then we'll get going and we'll watch the Vinland Saga, and that'll be great. And then we'll be done. Then we'll talk about it, and well, that'll be on the YouTube video. So come back here if you watch the picture-in-picture version, and like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. I really appreciate it. It helps the channel out a lot. Thanks so much for joining me as we dive further into this work, and oddly dive up out of the diving part and into the real world again, to return to practical affairs. Power, land, blood, money, swords. Let's see what our rightful heir to the throne is up to in Vinland Saga Season 2, Episode 10. Beep beep timer. This OP has so much more meaning after the last episode now. Whoa. That's beautiful. We're going at it again, huh? Whew. Ripped as fuck. Fuck yeah. Wow. So what about the ruined fields? And how long has it been? Fuck. Real smiles. Fuck. Hmm. Hmm. Whoa. Whoa. And what then? A strange path forward indeed. I'm, like, really happy about my drawing. Hmm. Hmm. There's nothing but tragedy there. Yeah. Yeah, he's got no idea. It's uncertain. He's really nervous about it. Damn it, he told him and we don't get to hear it? Oh, okay. Shit. Never mind. How? That's a huge goal, man. That's a hell of a thing to try to bite off. I'm so in. Yeah, but do you mean that in like an it's impossible kind of way? Or like what a beautiful thing kind of way? Oh, hello there. Hmm. Wild. I think they're in shock, sir. Ah! What the fuck, man? He's not coming back. I'm sorry for saying that. I don't know that that's true. Fuck. So our freedom is contingent on a verbal promise made by our master? Yeah, you're good at this. You have an option. And it gives him the chance to stay near Arnheid. Whoa. But what will they do? I don't know. This is not what I expected from the... this is more what I expected. Hath he that worketh in wherein... Uh... Uh-huh. Oh, shit. Yeah, CG. I don't care. Canute stuff? Is this Team Canute? I don't know. I'm guessing so. Your boy's not a boy. Fuck. Fuck. You don't give a boy that much music for no reason. Holy shit. That was what an incredible, just like quick scene with incredible music to make him a womp. What did they do to that ocean? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What the fuck was that? These look just like manga. Just like the manga. I haven't read this part of the manga. I've only read very early parts. Hmm. Hmm. Whoa. Hmm. But they were brothers. Wow. So I wonder if we're gonna say that it was Harald's head that was cursed. Let him get up. Oh! Oh! So strong and hardy! Oh, you can stand up, wow! That's cute. That's really cute. Protective gear! Protective gear! Hmm. Your fucking king is about to hand you a little ball. Holy fuck! Holy fuck! Canute, a little haunted, are we? Is that the cursed head? Because I was thinking heavy is the head that wears the crown, but maybe I'm fully wrong. Okay. She's cute. How is he? Bad. He is bad. Oh, he's up. Oh, he knows. Wow. Again with hands, nails. He's here to inherit both kingdoms, huh? Can't be a surprise. Canute's a very smart man. He knows why he's here. Otto. Otto, he's the head. He didn't actually say that, did he? Did he poison Harald? Denial of ambition and pretending toward like, whoa, whoa. And then, whoa. None of that was happening. That's Svein's head, right? That's his father's head. I don't actually know, and I'm going to have to go look it up. Holy fuck. What a haunting. It's his own guilt talking to him, right? We've been so careful around sound in this episode. I'm just realizing that there may not have been any background like music, except in like pivotal moments. And now he won't trust anyone. He's gonna think that he'll be poisoned too. Ah, okay. Thank you. He's acknowledged it and recognized it. How did he know? He did poison Harald as well. Wow. I forgot that if it happened. Just being transparent about it, but holy fuck. Even though he's a figment. Whoa. He chooses to actively be guided by the fucking weird monster. And yet putting on the crown dispels the fear. Interesting. Hi, Svein. Oh. Left here with Ragnar. Overprotective Ragnar. Shit. It's the same spot? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Oh, buddy, this is not all there is to it. Nor is this nothing. Is this all there is to it? To scheme and to sit with a crown on your head? Oh, man. Oh, man. He's already haunted by a fucking head. Oh. I get it. I get it. I promise I get it. I promise I get it. We're doing a contrast thing. Okay. I promise I think I get it. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Fuck yes. Okay, I'm so excited to have this situation play out. I'm so excited for that. What a fucking thing that's gonna be. Okay, I get it. Canute is an idealist core, right? Building toward a dream, Griffith style. Actually, that's exactly where we're going with this, because Canute is paving a path of blood and death and destruction, and he's justifying it as he goes with this grand ideal for the future, right? And it is polar opposite, diametrically opposed, completely mutually exclusive with the core lesson that we learned in episode 9, which is that you can't reach peace with violence. In so many words, you can't create peace with more violence. You can't kill your way to a peaceful heaven. That's it. You can't create a peaceful paradise on earth with murder, because it doesn't work that way. Blood begets blood. We found that out when we went to the hell place where the blood death happens. If you engage with that, you're there and you're stuck and it's ongoing. That's what the story tells us. And Canute goes, that doesn't apply to me because I'm in power. Right? This is actually easy sauce. All I have to do is kill really important people and put myself into power on this endless path toward a non-violent paradise future where everyone's united, and I just have to kill everyone who's against me until everybody's with me. And then it'll all be fine. I just have to kill them all. Right? And he's not thinking this. He's thinking, I just had to kill Sweyn, and I just had to kill Harold. Sweyn, easy. Well, he didn't even have to kill Sweyn, right? Like, Sweyn had to die, and Harold had to die. These people have to die in order for my goals to be reached. The means are justified by the ends. Okay, this is our layout. This is our fucking story. This is our layout. We put We put a prince and a pauper, right? A king and a slave, and we create histories for them and stories for them where they're kind of opposites. Like Canute grows up in essentially luxury and being sort of Siddhartha Gautama walled off from the horrors of the world. I think we talked about that way back when. Walled off from the horrors of the world, very much kept safe by Ragnar and stuff, and comes into the world discovering violence as the means of achieving things. Thorfinn grows up in a violent world and discovers pacifism as the means of achieving things. And the two of them exist in the same world with the same inputs, the same stuff that has happened around them, kind of, and yet they've come to these dramatically different conclusions. And like so many great stories, we're given a fertile ground to play them out. Canute is a perfect example of the like, oh fuck, it's a twisted idealist. It's a particular archetype. It's the anti-hero who's trying toward a grand goal, but doing it in a way that is unjust, and is thereby creating these torrents and ripples and endless waves of injustice that cannot be remedied by more violence. It doesn't work that way, says our story. You can't kill your way to peace, says our story. And yet Canute, in great firmness, in great belief in himself, and in his hallucinated head friend, the best advisor for any violent noble, complete firm belief in himself is like, I've found the answer. This is the way of it, and it's pretty fucking easy. It's not that hard when you have power to arrange the deaths of people and make things happen. It's just like doing business deals. It's just the way it goes. And so he, in that moment when he goes, this is all there is to it? Okay, I can do this. He's locked in, man, right? It hasn't appeared to him as monstrous. It hasn't struck him as like, oh, I'm on the wrong path. Why would it? It's working. And yet he descends into darkness. Yeah? He begins to fuzz out of reality, to hallucinate this head. And we can know that that's going to get worse, right? Because every time you give in to a temptation, you strengthen it. Every time. Neurologically, fucking the way our brains work, you give into that thing and you strengthen the pathway that is giving in. You use violence in order to achieve your goal, and you're like, well, the path to get to my goal is this one, and it works every time, and I'm going to keep doing it because it works every time. And it corrupts the person within. This boy who genuinely grew up as a sweet, thoughtful young man has grown completely capable of extraordinary destruction. Part of it is that he's separated from it. You know? He's sort of anonymized from it. He's pulled away from it. The deaths that happen at Canute's hands aren't at his hands. He doesn't have to look people in the face and have their blood spray on him and stuff, right? He has to just order their poisoning or order his armies out or whatever it is. Fuck. So there isn't this personal relationship to death. There aren't family figures around him who've had strong interactions with death and are able to tell him about it and communicate it to him. Because Svein, his father, was untouchable. Like, they had no interaction strongly. And Harold was cool, but then got pulled in with Svein, and Canute was left on his own to determine his own ways of the world. Sheltered. Holy fuck. What a fucking thing. Okay. Let's start at the start and talk through a couple of things about this episode. Our opening moments are gorgeous. I think that the water animation in this episode in particular is really beautiful. These first moments, and then there are some moments with the ocean that we're going to look at about 10 minutes in that I just have to see. They're gorgeous. This becomes a little bit less so, because, like, the non-water stuff is fine, but just fine. This is really fucking pretty. Really fucking pretty. So we set our scene, and our characters trade the axe back and forth to fell the last tree together. Bam, boom, yatta! The last one. So we are more than a year since the last events, getting knocked in the head and the field getting destroyed. So however they did it, they survived that year. And have cleared the entire forest. These genuine smiles and laughs are kind of stunning. I couldn't have imagined getting here a little while ago. Beyond genuine, like really laughing. We did it. We worked hard, we're nearly there indeed, about to be able to buy it back. So, what the fuck is next? Einar is still tied here by love. And that's, like... I mean, what's your over-under? My over-under is, like, 99% that ends in horrifying tragedy. Right? Like, she gets knocked up and then killed. Or something fucking crazy. If only she could be free too, but there's no intention there. Okay, so that seed is planted, really planted. Iceland? I don't know. And now we're both worried and unsure about it. Yeah. Yeah, wow. Humans are so like this. This is kind of an aside, but humans are so like this. We find ourselves in a situation and we're desperate to be out of it. We don't actually know what we want outside of that. We just don't want this. We might find that actually we did want that, but we wanted something different about it. People do this in relationships where they're like, fuck, all I want is to be out of this relationship. And then you get out of the relationship, like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with myself? Oh, shit. People do it with jobs. They're like, this job is destroying me. I don't know what else I'd do. Yeah. It's like the midlife crisis. And now you have freedom, and what the fuck can you do with it? You got all the money to spend that you could spend, and what are you gonna do with it? Buy a sports car and a yacht? Like, okay, cool. Will that fulfill you? Probably not. So we come up against this wall of the real question. When you don't have choices, you can just busy yourself, right? You can just go and do the work. But if you have choices, but it's hard to choose work. Even if it's the thing that's going to be useful, it's hard to choose that. And it's hard to choose the right kind. So we hit this wall, this question mark, this like, what could the future hold? And Thorfinn does maybe the boldest, bravest thing that a person can do, I think. And that's to set a goal that seems impossible. There's one really redeeming quality about goals that are too big, that are like impossible level. One big redeeming quality. Lots of flaws, one redeeming quality. That redeeming quality is that you're never going to reach them. So you got something to strive for forever. And if it's something that's so high above the way that the world actually exists right now, as the elimination of slavery, was it slavery and violence? Warfare and slavery. You set something that high, and even if you fall way short, you're going to strike targets way above what everybody else is hitting. Yeah? You might be aiming for the impossible, but your arrows might find their mark in the deeply improbable. Eliminate warfare and slavery? Well, we know that that hasn't happened. It's a pretty unfortunate thing to remember. There are peoples at war right now, And there are children enslaved right now, carrying bricks and mining sulfur and all sorts of deadly and terrible things. So, Thorfinn has not succeeded. But our world is also not overrun with war-torn bands of fucking Vikings. So perhaps Thorfinn has achieved something. I really admire the will to aim this high. It is something that I would like to embody. It's presented in this dumb little pose of pointing up that Subaru from ReZero and a bunch of Gynax characters do. It's like it's pointing at the unknown. It's like we don't know where we're going, but we're going better than here. And that's exactly what Thorfinn is pointing at. He's pointing at an ideal, at heaven. And why not? And why not? Why not try for something impossible? Maybe it isn't. Maybe it isn't. Well, it sounds like a dream, but there's no context to it's not like Yume, the words that he uses. Sodana. Yume no you da na. It sounds like a dream. But that's not saying that's a stupid dream, right? There's no judgment to it. What a dream. That's right. That's right. Dreams are powerful things. Humans organize around dreams. We fight for dreams. We kill for dreams. The dream of a better world has united religious peoples forever. Often it has to be extracted from this world, though. Because it's impossible to believe that it would exist here. It's like, no, that's only a dream. It can only be a place that's in heaven that comes after death. This world is inevitably about death, about destruction. But Thorfinn isn't acting like that. He's not speaking in the metaphor. He's not speaking in the fictional. He's fucking serious, I think. I think each of us can take something from that. I sure do. I want people to be able to hear each other. I want people to follow their inspiration and be inspired by the world. And I want them to share that with others so that they can be inspired by it too. And that we can all sort of realize that we're all in this together. In some ways, anime let me dream. And so, in some ways, my dream is to show that to others. But this makes me think that maybe I should aim higher, towards something more ephemeral, less conscious, less real, even. More impossible, bigger. A world without warfare and slavery. Starts with one, but he hasn't even mastered that, right? Like one man's will to violence he's hardly mastered. What an endless journey he set up for himself. What a powerful thing. What a road or a bridge or a straight and narrow path to choose. So he shows up and offers them their freedom. Holy shit. And then it is contingent upon his return. And this scares me immensely because this is the kind of setup where he doesn't return. And his older son takes the farm or something like that and goes, nah, y'all are slaves forever. I've gone to court to pay my respects. However he returns, or whoever returns, it will be with a new king. Oh, and we're offered a job, too. A chance to stay. We won't take it. But okay. We get a pair of lines from Ecclesiastes, and that is weird. What profit hath he that worketh in that wherein he laboureth? I have seen the travail which God hath given to the sons of men to be exercised in it. You know what's fucking great about Bible verses? That bajillions of people have written criticisms and commentaries on them. So if you want to figure out what the verses are supposed to mean, you can just look them up. And that's what I'm going to do because I'm no Bible scholar. I'm really kind of confused by the first line of what profit hath he that worketh in that wherein he laboureth, which to me reads as, what do you gain from working where you work? And I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to mean. Oh. Earthly achievements are fleeting. And so if you're searching for meaning in those, you won't find them. And from a close passage, then I looked on all the works that my hands had wrought, and on the labor that I had labored to do, and behold, all was vanity and vexation of spirit, and there was no profit under the sun. Oh, and all of this with the fucking war drums and chants. Awesome, like, separation of the episode and pulling us somewhere else. I think it's really incredible. I thought that this episode would have already cut us away and be totally focused on Canute, but barring that, I love this as a separating element that pulls us somewhere else. I think it's so cool. He hath made everything beautiful in his time. Also he hath set the world in their heart, so that no man can find out the work that God maketh from the beginning to the end. I think this is saying, like, God's ideas and plans are much bigger than you, possibly, and so you will never understand reality in your lifespan. Yeah, yet no one can fathom what God has done from beginning to end. It harks back to all is very good, beautiful, appropriate, fitting. So God's ways and timing are beyond human comprehension. Why do we put these two verses here? I don't know. I wonder if they're actually listed in the work. I'm guessing that they are. I love pulling back from the hawk's eye. Or I guess they're seagulls. I fucking love it, though. I don't love the CG, but I do like that it offsets our scene and gives us this sense of bigness and grandeur and motion. I think that's pretty cool. Canute piled in books. It's so interesting because so much of Canute is built to be really the perfect kind of ruler. And then there's this corruption that we build in this episode. And what a fucking thing that is to see. Oh. How do I put this? It's like Canute, and by extension, the people who are drawing and representing Canute have taken some classes from some body language experts, because Canute gives off these smoldering, like, stuff going on inside my head you can't understand, and also I'm powerful and thoughtful and really conscious and really, really cognizant and thonking, and you should kind of trust the way that I'm thonking. Canute's manner and way of holding himself and the way that we shoot him with the camera create an incredible air of authority and sort of calm capability. I think it's really fucking cool. I think it sets him out us apart as a character, and I really like it. How did we do this, water? How did we do that? How do we do that? Because that looks... that looks like some of the best hand-drawn water that I've ever seen. But I don't think it is. I think they're using a generator for it. I've never seen anything quite like it. If this is hand-drawn, then it is stunning. And there is no reason for it to be this way in this scene. Which is part of why I think that it's a generator that they've created. If this is a generator that they've created for doing water effects, then it's incredible. Because it captures this feel of, like pastel crayons. Yeah? Not crayons, but pastels. In sort of like blocks of color. And scratch marks to them that makes me think that it makes me feel like it's hand-drawn and also makes me feel like it's fucking real. I don't know. I would like to know. Welcome home. King Harold is not in good health. Is there evidence that he poisoned Harold, like, earlier? Like, do we know that because he told people to poison Harold in an episode and I've just forgotten it? If so, I'm really sorry. I do forget things. But fuck. And he's sending a trusted advisor instead of going himself to his sickbed. Probably for guilt. And we paint this picture of a genuinely close relationship between them. Until it wasn't. Of really pleasant, warm memories of his brother. And doing that serves most strongly to offset against the violence that Canute is doing to him. He's betrayed this man. He's betrayed his brother, who treated him with kindness when he was young. Why? Because the ends justify the means. Because he had to create the paradise on earth. Because nothing else matters. Because it doesn't matter if you go off of a straight and narrow path. You have the power to go anyway. It gets you where you're going. But our story posits that your actions become poisoned. That your behavior and ideals become poisoned by your willingness to be corrupted. The degree to which you're willing to sacrifice, like, personal moral responsibility for a greater good is the degree to which you are a villain. Is the degree to which you contribute evil to the world and create more death and more violence. And it creates more death and more violence. Fuck, man. The head shock is a great goddamn great jump scare. The mind of a child is so carefree, and the mind of every adult is overcome by violence and struggle and trauma and death, right? I'm adding that, but that's the way of this world, isn't it? These children are able to be carefree as children because they haven't seen their parents murdered yet. But they will, because that's the world we live in. Everyone gets battered. Fuck. I am so grateful for this little piece of exposition. I think it's very cool. Harold sent his fleet, and then Harold began to die. He is not well. But he is here. No need to worry. I've been waiting for you. I leave Denmark in your hands. Everyone is shocked. Canute smiles very subtly because he knew this was coming, and it was his plan after all. And then he speaks as though he doesn't think he'll die. He keeps up appearances, and the lie sinks in. Canute begins to truly embody it, and Svein's head calls it out. His own conscience. Let's be clear, this is not a spirit entity, right? This isn't a spirit entity doing things. Just as Thorfinn's descent into the pit it's not a place. It's in his soul, right? And King Svein's head sits there inside Canute's soul, and it speaks his own conscience to him. Fuck, that's good. And it mocks him for his achievement. You've achieved the ability to lie. Because his conscience knows that it's wrong, right? This is bad. What a pious farce. Platitudes over poison. Okay. And then the real rub, the needle in the haystack, the thorn in your boot. You actually don't have a reason to kill him. You could have worked together and achieved the same goals better. You could have improved your control over the world. You claim that this is for the sake of this dream utopia of yours, but it's not, because that dream utopia has become, as you've become a liar, that dream that you've held on high has become purely a justification for the actions that you take to gain more power. There is ravenous ambition within your heart, and to deny that is to enable it. To deny your will toward power, your will to violence, your will to own, your will to grasp, is to enable it. To say, oh, no, I am an altruist, and my reason for gaining this power is to give it away. It's so that all these people do well. I'm doing this for others. Is a lie, fundamentally. It is for you. And each of us has to reckon with this. Because you will meet dozens, if not hundreds, of business people who will tell you with great fervor and belief that they are doing their business deals in order to provide something good for the world. But they're not. Almost every single one of them, regardless of whether the business is a 501c3 nonprofit that helps kids with cancer, are doing it to survive themselves or to make themselves wealthy. I think that if you go through your life conscious of that, you can offset it. Conscious of the fact that you are a person and you will be selfish and you have needs and desires for power and stuff. And you can curtail those if you're aware of them. But if you're not, or even worse, if you deny them, you act like you are holier than thou, well, you will be the opposite. What a thing. What a thing. It's important to know what you're getting out of things. It's very unlikely that you're not getting something out of those things that you're doing it entirely for others. But we hate seeing ourselves in that light. We hate admitting that we have selfishness. Even though it's the most natural and human thing, we hate it. We hate doing it. I think it's that hatred of it, that desire to pretend that it's not there, that leads us to act worse. Your ambition to rule. The curse of the crown. Really cool that we set that up all that time ago. And so he says, you will not escape. You will don both crowns. Your suffering will be twice mine, because you will carry them both. And you will sit upon this tree, or upon this throne before this great tree. This is such an incredible and evocative image. I think we're putting him at the base of Yggdrasil. But I don't know. A violent lord with his armies marching forth and his branches and roots spreading forward. And he is taken out of reality and the people around him. He's becoming less capable as a king because of these hauntings, yes? Just beginning, just the start. So in darkness, looking over his childhood play yard, he worries that his sister will try to poison him, because after all, he's poisoned his brother. Everyone poisons people. A guilty conscience reveals itself. Where did it come from? I don't need it. He begins to actually speak to him, and everything he says gets wrapped back up by the head, right? Of course, the head is a figment, but it wants him to believe in the figment. Figments have their own power. Daemons, psychologically, things that exist inside your mind, they want to keep existing. Pieces of you, personas, pieces of your personality that are a part of you, they want to survive. They want to keep being there. So this figment speaks in ways that make itself stronger. Like, oh, don't you get it? The curse is growing. So Canute will believe that the curse is growing, of course. It needed to be united. So he goes back to the same things. The King Svein was saying, you didn't need to kill him. You could have done this separately. He's got his justifications. No. It couldn't have worked. This was necessary. Necessary. Ah, you've learned to think like a real king. The goals justify the violence. They justify the means. We take this thoughtful pose. I really like this sort of side-eye thoughtful pose from Canute as he talks to his spirit companion, this man he once hated for. And look at me now, you're my closest companion. That's right, Canute, because you are becoming like him. You have lost sight of those things about him that you hated. Let us be friends. Let me ally myself with this spirit of violence who I used to hate. For we are in the same boat, and there's nothing I can do to change that. So I'll bear the curse, because it is a means to achieve the ends that I really care about. Paradise on earth has nothing to do with my own power. Nothing to do with my own power. Everything to do with the betterment of the world. Whoosh. But the head will not be gone for forever. Grow up strong. Stronger than me and stronger than father. Does Canute think that's what he's doing by putting on the crown here? I think so. But I think he's doing the opposite. I think he's becoming a warrior, and not a true warrior. Yes? He's stepping into what the world calls strength, and finding himself bound into doing things that he wouldn't otherwise want to do. Indeed, he is losing his freedom. We could even say he's losing it because he's dispensed with love. Or at least he's traded genuine love for the people around him with something more ethereal, an ideal of love for all. An almost religious idea of a utopian future where there won't be violence anymore. But he's building that future out of violence. And he's building it without love. So how will we get freedom there? Two men on different paths. One climbing up out of the pit and the other seeming like he's hell-bent on diving deeper into it. On breaking up the land. Our story grows curiouser and curiouser. I'm so grateful for you joining me here in Season 2, Episode 10 of Vinland Saga. I am so pleased to be watching this show. It's really exciting, and it continues to just sort of whomp me with cool ideas. So I will say thank you so much for joining me. It's always a pleasure, and I hope very much to see you in the next week's episode, which will be available when this one airs on YouTube via the early access on the Patreon linked in the description. I very much hope to see you there, or like and subscribe. Shoot me a comment, let me know what stood out to you about this episode, or if you think that I misinterpreted anything, or if there are elements that I've forgotten about. It's been a lot of time and I've forgotten a bunch of things. I try to stay really conscious of it and like humble about it and aware that like I don't remember that. Maybe, I don't know. I'm stupid sometimes, it happens. But I would very much love and appreciate if you would let me know about any of those, and come back and join me next week for the next episode of Vinland Saga Season 2. Thank you very much. Much love. Peace.